Webiters, there is something of magnitude that is just going to happen. It is the world's biggest award for innovation and sustainability, which will be presented by Webit in collaboration with WIN. The award ceremony of Founders Games is just minutes away, and we all will see the finalists who made it, competing with over 3,500 other companies from all around the world. Let's give a very loud and warm round of applause to our own chairman and founder of Webit and mastermind behind Founders Games and WIN, Dr. Plamen Russev.
Are you ready for the culmination of this day, amazing day organized by the Webit.Foundation? Are you ready? Are you excited? Do you know what will happen next? Oh my gosh, I'm already excited with this energy of the most successful VC energy of the world that has come here to Sofia to choose the winners of the Founders Games. I'm Kristina Cornèr. I'm editor-in-chief at Cointelegraph, one of the largest and oldest publications in the world dedicated to cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And I'm so happy to be part of this Webit community because for me, it's also very important to find the best and the most impactful in technologies. Cryptocurrencies and decentralization is about not only monetization, it's about the values of decentralization, of freedom of money, of access to different resources. And this is what Webit.Foundation has been doing for all the years since it's been founded. And this is what Founders Games is about. It's about finding and choosing, selecting the most impactful, socially impactful projects and give them way to the world in order for us all to have joy of enjoying this life in a sustainable, impactful manner. I'm really happy and honored to welcome here the founder of the Webit.Foundation, Dr. Plamen Russev, who will tell us more about the values behind the Founders Games.
Hey, first time on that stage, looks good. Kristina,
how do you do today? Are you excited?
Especially when I saw you, I feel great because you flew all the way from New York just a couple of hours ago to make it to this ceremony, and I'm eternally grateful for being with us. We cannot have a better host, so appreciate really your time and being here. So,
thank you so much.
So well, definitely I feel great.
This is the most beautiful place to be right now. How many projects have applied this year?
Well, it's been quite a number. I think we've reached something above 3,200. So it's been a lot. Yeah.
And over 12 editions, right?
I know you're tired. Please, let's have a sit. Come
let's
on.
have a sit. Thank you so much.
I don't want to be a better host of you being a host here. So, yeah. So out of these 3,000, we have these 5 rounds that are scoring them. And the first round is by documents only, by the application forms and the information we receive and collect. And then the next rounds are human scoring. And when I say human, I mean those beautiful humans called investors. With them on board, I will not say the numbers, but I believe there are over 200 investors. Part of what we call collective intelligence of the Founders Games, who are basically scoring each and every company on the way. So, for example, those investors that were scoring today, they have nothing to do with the scoring of the previous rounds, etc. So that's how we make sure we have this collective intelligence.
So it's been 12 years, quite of a history. 5 finalists every year, winners. What is their stories? How do you follow all of those projects?
Wonderful stories. Well, some of them are, obviously I follow because I've personally invested so far. Others are invested by some of our network friends and partners. But overall, we have to create an index. And the index shows that for the past 6 years, the finalists of the Founders Games, which are up to 5, have attracted 6.9 times more capital after they were pitching at Webit. And if you discount the last 2 years for different reasons, because you don't do a round like every 6 months or a year, and then for other reasons, then you have quite a significant number. But this is not such a impossible number, having in mind that we select from 3,005, so it's like 0.2%.
Amazing. And how many countries have been presented among projects?
This year, I've just wanted to double check. I think we have over 140 at the first stage, but then here at the finalist, you will see companies Europe, US, yeah.
Amazing. Global, really global, impactful community. Awesome. So do we need to invite some other exciting guests here?
Unless you don't want to pick who's going to get the money yourself. And
I know nothing about it. I've enjoyed all the pitches that I've listened to today in the second half of the day. And I was asking who will win, and they didn't tell me.
Well, allow me to introduce our special guest here, then, with your permission. And I would like to start with someone who's been putting so much trust with us for the past several years. Someone who I have deep respect for, because he put 2 words in my mind, which go very simply: freedom and trust. I would say that person is a true symbol of a fighter, for both of them. And this goes to the iconic, legendary investor with companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter, Coinbase, and the list goes on and on, Mr. Tim Draper. He will be with us virtually, hopefully, and I hope he hears us, and you will see him. And Tim, such a pleasure.
I hear you. I was muted. Thrilled to be here. So great to be a part of Webit's finale here. Plamen, you really know how to throw a big event. Very excited to be a part of it. I'm wearing my Bitcoin tie in your honor. And on the back of it, it does say freedom and trust.
Yes. So I have these supernatural powers from time to time. I don't know where they come from, so I read what is written on your tie. Thank you so much.
You knew before I even showed it to you. You knew what it was all.
No, let's tell everyone, I really didn't know that. Tim, such an honor to have you with us. I know how busy you are. Today, you have a special celebration of Draper University, and your initial words were, I can't make it on 28, do it on 27th. And still you made it. My huge gratitude. And please allow me, and I will do it very quickly, to introduce the rest of the participants in the jury.
Let me start.
Please.
So I'm happy to welcome here Risto Siilasmaa, legendary chairman of Nokia from 2012 to 2020, founder of WithSecure and WithSecure corporations.
Did you hear something? Risto. you already were here on the stage, so it was very easy to introduce you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Risto, when I spoke to Risto some time back, he told me, I have the best VC in the world. I'm the only LP in it. And I'm sure that it goes by heart. And Risto is a true innovator, both as a founder of F-Secure and as a chairman of Nokia for till 2012-2020, and now further boosting the boundaries of innovation. Grateful for being with us, Risto. And
next one is Alexander Galitsky, co-founder and managing partner of Almaz Capital, another amazing capitalist, impactful investor.
Thank you so much, Sasha. Welcome. And I know Sasha since 2013, 2012, our first event in Turkey. And since then, he's been helping with ideas, cutting my wings for some projects that I asked him to be investor, but at the same time helping me make it better. So thank you so much, Sasha, for joining.
And now, Gilad Novik, founder of Gilnovation, another incredibly successful investor who has invested in Facebook and other wonderful companies.
Please have a seat. We had the pleasure to meet with Gilad many years ago, and he was also part of the Founders Games jury back in 2019. Correct. When we couldn't manage, even us, to put money in the winner because they were so quickly oversubscribed. But Gilad is investor in companies like Facebook and Spotify, I mean, early investor, so making some real waves around. And last but not least,
let me give you the floor.
Ajay is joining us from, he's a dear friend. Let the music go. Thanks for joining. Please go ahead. Also, long friendship with Ajay, and his VC is currently in the top 10% of the VCs bringing the most money to the LPs in US, according to
the National Venture Capital Association.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ajay. So that's who you are. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and wishing you a good night.
And now the most exciting part starts, actually. Do you feel the energy on this stage? Like, these guys have invested into the most successful projects in the world. I'm really happy and honored to be here, represent the diversity, gender diversity on the stage as well, and to learn from you, and to learn from you, and to learn from the winners who will be announced very soon.
How was today? How are you doing? Was it a good day? Yeah? Did you enjoy it? You're not in a hurry, so I can ask questions and you can answer. But the list of the startups who made it to the finals is already done. The way it was selected is based on the highest scores of all these 3 rounds, all these 4 rounds until now. And the names are some music, some drums, some pressure, tension. Cake Zero Emission Sweden. Echo Tree Denmark. $360 views United Arab Emirates. Vetzel Gold GmbH, Germany. And the last one, who do you think it is? Throw a name, come on. Guys, you know nothing of marketing. you're all here and you don't throw your name, at least say it so that all the viewers around the world say, what? Now I'm talking. It's kind of bad marketing, but still might work. The company comes from Switzerland. It's named Alver World SA. And now, without further ado, we will start immediately. Now, I know it's a surprise. It might be dangerous for some, for heart attack, but we need all of them now on the stage. Come backstage and let's see who's gonna be first. Come on, quickly. Are you? Who is there? Come on. All right. First, second.
Third.
Yeah. Go ahead. Don't be shy. They did it. They made it. 3. All right, I'm guessing the others are virtual, so we will see them virtual afterwards. Let's.
Amazing.
Should we start?
Let's start.
All right. First, let's start with those that are here, and we have the Wetzelgott GmbH, Germany. How do you like it? Is it good?
Very good.
All right.
Congratulations.
So I know it's a pretty awkward, but you should be speaking backwards to those that are going to give you up to a couple of million.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I feel fine. It's great. So, because we want to disrupt the insurance industry and the contract industry, because it's a topic people hate it. People hate to deal with their contracts, and that's why we have to do something about it. And with the use of PSD2, via PSD2, we can aggregate all your bank accounts in one place, and then we can screen your bank transaction data, so we can fully automatically switch you up to better contracts and save you hundreds of euros in the end, within minutes, and that's how it should be. Yeah.
So do we
Can
have
you
the
put your
presentation ready?
microphone right up to your mouth?
Sorry?
Can you get him to put his microphone right up to his mouth?
Yes.
We're having a hard time hearing. That's better.
All right. Yeah, you can go there. I think it's safe so you don't stay backwards to us. That's what I meant. It's not good to turn back to people who might give you money, you know. It's kind of it doesn't look well. Do we have the presentation ready? I know that you didn't know who they are. All right. So you will do a presentation without a presentation.
Okay.
That's your biggest challenge tonight. Go ahead, please.
So, hi.
3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Werner from Munich, and okay, now it's better, sorry. My name is Werner, I'm from Munich, and we founded WithSecure at the end of 2018 with the idea to disrupt the contract management industry. Because as a financial advisor, I knew it with advising customers with insurance stuff. I hated it to do this, insurance folder. And you had all this paper stuff. So it was quite awful. And I thought, why isn't there an easier way to save people money and to deal with all of that contract stuff? And that's why we came up with the idea to use PSD2 technology to aggregate bank accounts and so recognize in those bank accounts what kind of contracts people have. So it's like, for example, you can recognize an energy contract. And then we can say, okay, it's from E.ON, for example. We know the amount people are paying for the energy contract, and then with a click of a button, with a mandate, we can cancel the contracts for you and sign you up to better ones, and save for insurance products. So for that, for example, car insurance, we can guarantee you to have the same conditions as before and save you up to 10% in about a few minutes. And I think about it. Think about you can, with your smartphone, in about 10 or 15 minutes, save a few hundred of euros. So it sounds quite simple. And that's how it is. Because you can compare contracts and then you can save money with it. But people don't do it because they hate it and it's awful. And so this is why we have to lower the barrier. So we have to lower the barrier with technology so that contracts can be managed for you. And our business model is about not to spend millions of euros to reach out to customers. We do it via B2B, so we have more than 20 banks on our platform. We have more than 1,000 insurance brokers on our platform. We have 2 of the 3 biggest comparison portals in Germany on our platform. And now we are with those B2B partners, we are converting the clients. So imagine you're on a bank like a Citigroup, or in Germany you are in Volksbank or Sparkasse. And now we integrate our services in those existing bank accounts, so that you even don't have to do, like, you don't even have to register in a new app. So you can switch your contracts in your existing bank account by the bank you trust already. So this is quite simple, because in the bank you already have the data. You already know what kind of liability insurance you have. And then with this, with a click of a button, we can cancel the old contract for you and sign you up to the better contracts. Stored everything in one place. Because in the future, we don't think about you have an app for tax, and then you have an app for your insurance, and then for your energy contracts, and then for your pension plan, and then you have 3 other apps for all of that stuff. We think there will be kind of ecosystem, or like in Asia, kind of super apps, where you have aggregated the data, the place you trust, and you can store it there, and processes will be so automated that you can easily save money, and so kind of don't have to do anything with it.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Perfect timing.
May I request the technical team for a gong every 3 minutes, if possible? That would make a big difference for us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. Should we proceed?
So do we ask questions?
Please.
Please.
Okay, so the platform, it flips from one insurance company to the next, as I understand it, but there are so many legal differences between insurance carriers, and there are so many slight differences where one might include earthquake insurance and one might not, or one might include a certain amount of earthquake insurance, or certain circumstances where something doesn't quite match. You were saying they get the same or better conditions. And the other thing is insurance companies are not always the same. Some pay very quickly and don't pay that much, and some pay a lot, but they make you fight for your claims in the law. So how do you solve all that? Are you somehow getting all the insurance companies to standardize on your contract?
So this is a great question, because we tried in the bank accounts to kind of map the contracts. Like say there's, for example, Allianz insurance, for example, liability insurance, and then with databases we get to know what kind of contract it is exactly. But this is very difficult. So we came up with the switching tariffs, and so-called switching tariffs. They just don't care what kind of condition the old contract had. They say to the customer, okay, can make a photo of your old contract, and we guarantee you just the same contract as the conditions as you had before, plus, for example, you can drive more kilometers with your car. So it's just like you can say, average calculation. So we don't know, there might be contracts we are more expensive and our calculation doesn't work. But in average, when you take all the insurance contracts, for example, liability insurance, you have more margin with those models, because then you have to look at the risk. For example, you don't insure people that are older than 67 when it comes to car insurance, because they make more accidents. So we look at the risk, and then we try to get those risks out of it, and then we can insure about 80 or 90% of the people, but we have an easy process and we can switch easily. So this is what so-called switch tariffs are about, and in sales they are working great, because in digital sales, for example in banks, it can be too complex. Because if in a digital process there's like talking about conditions in your liability insurance, people hate it and they don't want that. They want a simple and easy promise, saving money, same conditions for example, you get 25 euro in your Amazon voucher or something like that. This is how digital sales can work in that.
And do you, are you using smart contracts here? Are you actually laying smart contracts on top of the insurance company contracts?
Not at the moment. We are on a business model in the smart contract topic too, but not in the moment.
And then do you have a personal relationship with the end customer, or are your customers all just B2B?
Mostly B2B. We have our own brand to kind of optimize UX and those processes, but mostly B2B. So we have a lot of brands, like we have the PSD bank tariff switching service. We have a tariff match for the Volksbanken in Germany. We have a Fair Vertragsmanager for sustainable contracts like green insurance products, because you can also switch up to green contracts. I think it's a future market. So saying, yeah, you have the same conditions as before, and the insurance company is investing in a ESG-conform investment portfolio and is CO2 neutral to do something for your CO2 topic. And so this is about the processes. So mostly B2B. So we don't care if the customer is knowing our brand, because that's the cost of acquisition game. For those, we would need millions. We are happy to go into that. You are here today, so we are really taking those money to go into that. But of course, it's smarter, I think, to split revenues with existing companies.
Okay, these are 3 minutes, but we continue with them. No. We have many questions.
Next question, please.
Tim, do you have more questions to follow up?
I do, but you guys go on. I don't want to take away from the stage.
You're not boring at us. Actually, that's very important. Who's going on next? Gilad?
Sure. So if you want to actually spread out outside of Germany, so what are the standardization regulations, limitations that you have? Any limitations?
Can you place this one closer? Yeah.
Can you hear me? Any better now? So in terms of regulations, do you have any limitation to spread outside of Germany or outside of Europe to work with other brands outside?
Yeah, of course we have to deal with the regulatory stuff. When it comes to PSD2, we are doing the KID license, so what is called AIS license. So aggregating bank transaction data, you can do it in kind of Europe. This is no problem. Open banking, you can do it in any country. But when it comes to the insurance products, like car insurance or legal insurance, for example, is different. So therefore you have to individualize. So Germany is similar with Austria and Switzerland, but then it becomes much more difficult. So you can't scale it so easily. So there are, of course, regulatory borders.
Okay. And in terms of competition?
So there are a lot of competitors, I think, in those B2C sector. So we know, for example, Clark in Germany or VFox is a big one. So I think the competitors in those markets. But I think when it comes to B2B, in those fields I think there's not so much competition, because it's complex to build such a platform, to get the partners in there. So I think we are at the moment maybe the biggest and growing. Yeah.
What's your current revenue?
What?
Your revenue.
Revenue. So we are at the moment getting more than 100,000 in Premier monthly and growing fast. So yes, try of course to double or triple it now every year, or even faster.
Okay.
Yeah, as you mentioned.
Do you have plans to go to? Oh, sorry. Do you have plans to go to the consumer ever?
Sorry, I couldn't understand your question.
Your software is direct to the businesses, but it also touches the consumer. Do you ever have any plans to actually go direct to the consumer?
So kind of consumer recommendations. So in our model, of course, the B2B partner profits at the time we sell products to them, because this is what's the model about. So when it comes to, for example, insurance contracts or energy contracts, our B2B partner, they think it's great that we sell, of course, new products. When we cooperate with a bank, they wouldn't like it if we selling kind of loans. They wouldn't like that. But of course, in those contract space, we can act freely.
Thank you. Risto?
Yes, as already mentioned, internationalizing and scaling globally will be quite complicated, but what are your actual plans in that regard?
So our first plan is for Austria. So we looked already on that market because there are a lot of banks. We have at the moment three banks in Germany, Volksbanks, that are already invested in our company. And they are in Austria too, so we could scale there as the next market. So first get a lot of traction and processes in Germany, and then to Austria, and then to Switzerland. That would be the DACH region, the next step.
So your plans...
Two more questions from the jury. Sasha, question? No question. Ajay?
What do you worry about as a founder? What keeps you up at night?
Normally funding when it comes to the next round, but I think it's anytime the same. So before the round, you think, oh God, is it working? Then it works, and you can sleep 12 months again, and then the next round is taking place, and then the same stuff is, I think that the cycle is going on. Again.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Any other question from the jury? No. Okay. So, are we ready for the next picture?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this microphone, you might...
Don't be too stressed.
Thank you.
We'll be fine. Just enjoy.
All right, as usual, the jury members are currently scoring the companies, and we are going to be having the live scores, but still, we will have to leave you alone for like 5 minutes once we hear all the scoring. So we go backstage and we finally decide. So just to let you know from now, it's not a surprise. All right, so we move next with the next one. We call for views 360. Well done. Just please keep the mic as close to your mouth as possible. 360. Would you manage to build to put the presentation? Just give me a sign. I know. You don't, okay, no presentation.
Okay.
Go
3
on.
minutes.
3 minutes
countdown.
gong.
Perfect. Hello everyone, my name is Khalid Zatara. I'm the founder of 360 Views, the leading immersive video platform around the world. This whole journey started when I applied for a program with UNICEF and I was selected. And that program has changed my life. I've seen how many people are displaced around the world, how many people cannot travel, how many people cannot be with their friends, with their family. And this is where I thought, how can we use immersive technology, VR and AR, to let everyone be connected around the world? How can we be more socially responsible? And this is where we built our mobile app platform called 360 Views, which lets people teleport in time to watch latest events, experiences, being with your friends in immersive 360 virtual reality through your phone, directly from your mobile app. We have been able to give users the opportunity to control different camera angles. For example, if you are watching a UFC match or a boxing match, we have different cameras on the stage and you can move from one camera to the other, all in immersive. This gives the users the authenticity. At the same time, it gives them the control, the power, which many other platforms don't have. We have worked with NBA, we have worked with the Oscars, we cover every movie premiere around the world with top actors and celebrities around the world. We have now scaled to over 18 countries around the world with $8.5 million run rate, with 2.5x growth year on year and 15% growth monthly basis on our subscription revenue. So our platform is a subscription and advertising platform, mostly focused on consumers. At the same time, now we're building our SDK that can be integrated to many other platforms and video platforms where we can build on the B2B segment out of it. On top of that, users can be anywhere they want to be using as well, taking a picture and creating their own avatar. And this avatar can be part of this experience to watch and communicate with other people through that metaverse as well. So this is something that we're working on and developing. And we have been greatly looking forward to scale globally. So we're now in 18 countries plus. We have partnered with 38 telecom operators as well for our payment, subscription billing payment. And the interesting thing about the platform is the highly scalable platform where we can scale to other countries with very asset-light operations. We don't need to have an office. we Uberize the model with partnering with reporters. And these reporters are our reporters that get paid per event or experience that they cover. So we don't have millions of, let's say, workers to cover events in Hollywood, in Asia. We have these reporters that we pay them per event to create this immersive 360 content that anyone can utilize on their smartphone. And what was very different versus all other competitors, that we were able to start with smartphone. Many companies started with VR 5 years ago, but it was very, very nascent, or it was very, very new. And it was a very niche market. But for us, because we started with smartphones, we've been able to acquire a huge target audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Khaled. The floor is open for questions. Who's going to start first?
I will start. Who is the owner of the content?
We are the exclusive owners of the content because we pay these reporters their fee per event and per experience, including the creators. So now we have the biggest immersive premium content library in the world since 2016 because we have built that. We have the exclusive premium content library of the world from Hollywood to Asia to the Middle East to Europe. And we have covered multiple celebrities like Will Smith, Lionel Messi, Roberto Carlos, as well as Brad Pitt. We have a lot of content with very, very top stars globally on our platform.
And those celebrities have no problem actually you owning that piece of content?
Yes, they don't, because we do that as an interview, as a PR. They invite us to their movie premieres, for example, in the Oscars. Whenever they have a movie premiere, they invite our reporters to go and create these interview sessions, behind-the-scenes experiences that people cannot see on TV, people cannot see on digital or any other platform.
Is there any barrier to entry?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah, is there any barrier to entry? There are thousands of people trying something similar. How do you win in this business?
How we win in this business, our product market fit is very strong because we started in 2016 and we have the biggest premium content library now in the world. Our unit economics are superb. So it cost us less than $2 to acquire a paid subscriber with a lifetime value of $54. So we've been able to really scale and reach over 7 million users in a very short period of time. We have 200,000 paying subscribers that we have acquired within a year, and they're growing at 15% month on month. And we are now partnering with Meta, with ByteDance, with Apple as well, because all of them are focusing on building their own VR and AR headsets, but they don't have the content, they don't have the platform as well. So we are being their best complementing partner to really build on the future of media, the future of video, the future of immersive content.
I got your revenues were doubling or whatever every month. How big are your revenues? What were last month's revenues?
So last month's revenues were $700,000 MRR, so recurring subscription revenue. A couple of months back, we were 400,000. So we're really growing at 15% month on month on our subscription revenues. So we're at a hyper-scale inflection point currently when we launch our subscription business. Because initially we started with advertising business, and last year we introduced our subscription business.
Any other questions from the dear members of the jury?
So is the subscription business the primary focus now? That's the future as opposed to the advertising business?
Exactly. The subscription business is now 74% of our recurring revenue, and it has been growing. And then we have new incremental revenue sources that we're adding, which is in-app purchases, where users can buy points within the platform and gift to the creators and the reporters. And then, of course, the B2B segment, where we have the SDK that can be licensed to different platforms around the world, where we can license content, they can stream content from our platform as an SDK integration in many other platforms around the world.
Well, sure, I have two questions. One question related about net revenues, since you spend a lot of money to your reporters, and how you control quality of content, actually, since you own quality and it can be garbage and good, how you control quality?
That's a very important question. Our platform has been focusing on premium content. So what we do when we get these reporters that we sign up with, we do an onboarding session with them. We make sure that they are professional reporters that cover the Oscars, for example. They cover behind the scenes of the NBA, for example. And when we sign up with them, we make sure that they know how to create premium good experiences content. So we still didn't open it for the mass, to the whole users, because we know when we open it, you will have a lot of lower premium content. But this is something on the plans that we're working on, to open it slowly and step by step to really address a huge UGC content globally from different users. Any user can be a user later on as a creator and a reporter on the platform.
Sorry, as a reporter myself, can I ask you what are the criteria that you apply to the selection? What does it mean, a quality and professional reporter for you?
That's a great question. So first, we want to make sure that they have an experience of covering different experiences that are related to our categories. So either entertainment, sports, lifestyle, or travel. So this is the first category that we look at. And then second, how they are presentable on the screen, how they talk on the mic, how can they really give people the immersive experience around them, how to explain about things around them. So we do a lot of online screening and video screening to see how they can do, and we look at previous examples that they have worked on.
You didn't answer the
Risto?
question.
Sorry, Sasha.
Yeah, you didn't answer the question about net revenue. So you told 700,000 per month or something you're doing?
Yes.
So what's the net revenue from this?
Net revenue is almost $400,000.
Okay.
Do you think of yourself as a media company or as a tech company?
We see ourselves as a tech enabler platform.
But when you introduced your company, you emphasized the importance of you owning the content. It sounds like a media company to me.
It sounds like a media company because we have that content. It's an add-on that we have because we started with this technology and we built this whole content across the time. But we are a tech platform. We are a tech enabler that we can be integrated on the platforms. We are scaling on so many great features on the platform itself, and now we're scaling on smart TVs, on as well consoles. We're scaling on multiple different tech platforms.
So your customers are like telcos, and that's where you monetize. How does it work?
So we monetize through users. So users subscribe on a monthly basis on accessing the VIP content, which is the locked content. And then we monetize through advertising. So advertisers, different brands, global brands, place their ads as well on our platform. And we have two patents from the USPTO for our advertising technology. So we're the only ones that are able to show an immersive 360 video player and have another screen-on-screen, a double screen or a picture-on-picture frame to play videos and play video ads there. So this is our second stream. But telcos have been really supportive in scaling because we integrate through them through the direct carrier billing. So they have millions and millions of users. So we collaborated with over 38 telecom operators globally. They support us with SMS, marketing, social media, all for free in return for a share of revenue for our subscription that the users do through entering their mobile number. And because most of our users are Gen Z and millennials, so entering your mobile number and subscribing is a very efficient model to grow together globally.
What is your biggest challenge at the moment?
Biggest challenge is finding the best tier superstar teams to help us scale and reach to the next level. We're currently at the Series B round. Actually, we signed yesterday our first close of our subscription agreement, shareholders agreement. We closed a $15 million round. The second close is going to be another $10 million that we're as well finalizing and working on now. So I think currently closing this investment round at this time with the market conditions has been a challenge, but we have succeeded in it. And we're very looking forward now to the future of scaling and taking this platform globally in Asia, in the US, and Europe.
More questions?
What's your relationship with actually legal? How legal stuff, since any content actually require legal approval?
So on our platform, any user can report any content, take down. So you have an option, you can take down any content to be reported or reviewed. So most of it, because it's created by reporters and creators, so it's created on that model, similar to Instagram and other platforms like Facebook and others.
So if Brad Pitt will sue someone, not you, but reporter or something like that?
Exactly, but users or him can report to take down that content. It can be taken down within a couple of minutes to be removed.
How much of your subscription model is tied to kind of the currency of a new event? So I imagine that the majority of your subscriptions and opt-ins are happening because you're covering, you know, a big event. Like, let's say you have a reporter at the Wimbledon right now interviewing, you know, Nadal. Is that driving the subscription, or is it just the fact that you have this massive long-tail library of legacy content that's also interesting?
Very good question. So almost 40% of the subscription monetization is through, let's say, events and new events that are coming up. But around 60% is from the existing experiences that we have, the library that we have, as well as the creators that we work with. We have signed up some of the biggest creators around the world that are creating content on weekly basis and monthly basis on the platform, and they're being able to monetize more than many other platforms in terms of monetization and in terms of time spent. Because our content is raw and it's authentic, they don't need to do a lot of editing on it, right? You don't need to choose the angle. You let the users choose the angle. They're the directors of the show. We want to be authentic and to help them. And taking a point that within the past 5 years, we have saved more than 5 billion tons of carbon dioxide of people traveling to different places, to going to different places with their car, with their planes, to really immersively let people be anywhere they want to be virtually.
Are the majority of your users actually tuning in through a VR headset, or are they tuning in on mobile?
Currently, as per the statistics, 15% of the users are tuning in through the VR headsets, and we expect this number to grow as the VR market grows by time.
Thank you. Any more questions? I think we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job.
Compliments. It's not that easy. I feel this energy here, like 6 amazing investors just bombarding with questions, scrupulous questions, these wonderful entrepreneurs. Should we move?
It hurts, isn't it?
Forward, it hurts.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to have these great questions because we have really, truly amazing companies here. I suggest we move next, as we've discussed, with the third in-person participant, who will take us to the beautiful forests and talk to us about eco trees. All right, eco tree. Welcome on stage. I guess because of the nature of what you're presenting, namely nature, we have already trees in front of us. So let's start. 3 minutes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go for a different approach. You know, we started back in 2016 with actually a frustration, which I'm still sharing today, which is, why the hell are we still talking so much about sustainability, but actually achieve so little? I mean, a couple of months ago, we had COP26 in Glasgow. Right? Seriously, 26, and it's a yearly event. So, I mean, are we going to need to go up to 60, 80, 100 to actually have something happening? So, well, we tried to turn that frustration into, with my co-founders, into an idea which was to actually move from today's punitive ecology, right? Because basically today what we do is we scare people, we shame people, we tax people who are not, or companies who are not doing enough for the environment. And then we thought, well, what if instead we actually turned into a positive ecology by actually rewarding the virtuous ones, right? So we came up with this idea, inspired actually by the Scandinavian recycling system for used cans and bottles, which basically gives you money back when you return your stuff into the supermarkets for proper recycling. And that hit our mind. In Denmark, in Germany, in Sweden, more than 90% of those used cans and bottles are returned for proper recycling. When in France, where I come from, it's below 50% without such a system. And that hit our mind because that's where we realized a little financial incentive means a lot of, you know, in terms of how environmental friendly people or organizations behave. And so we basically decided to turn away from the classic donation thing because, like it or not, it just doesn't work. Like taxpayer money. Has it donation, philanthropy? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great. But has it ever saved Africa from poverty? No, unfortunately, not yet. And it's not going to save us from the biodiversity collapse or from the climate change. So we came up with this model of rewarding individuals or companies that actually invest and support sustainable forestry. So we've came up with this model where we basically own the land in Europe and we sell the trees, just the trees, to individuals and organizations. So they get both the vital environmental benefit of it as well as the perspective of a financial gain, because like it or not, that's what works best. So basically we take care of everything throughout the life cycle of the trees, and with this regard we are a fully integrated forestry company, a forestry startup. And when the trees are mature, they're going to be harvested and sold for high quality timber. And you as the owner of those trees or your company are going to get the revenue from that sale.
Okay, we start with the questions. Thank you.
Sorry.
Tim?
Who will be first?
Who's going to be first?
Yeah, I don't get it completely. If I'm doing something good for the environment, you give me a tree, or you give me sort of an NFT of a tree? What are you giving me?
Well, I'd be happy to talk about NF trees, maybe on another occasion. But basically, no, the idea is that you're going to buy a tree. You're going to literally purchase a tree or several thousands of trees, and you're going to become a tree owner. And that ownership, that's what's unique, and that's what, of course, over a certain long time period.
But you're selling trees you don't own.
No, we're using a legal mechanism that allows us to own the land and sell the trees. And that's what helps us to actually sell the trees by the unit and democratizing forestry asset, because forestry asset has always been in many wealthy companies or many wealthy families, but now it's available for anyone.
Where does my money go? Then I buy a tree, where does my money go?
Well, your money goes 30% in our gross margin. That's where we as a company make money. Another 30% goes into the actual operations of planting the trees and maintaining it. And very importantly, the remaining 40% go on an escrow account to secure the long-term financial resources of your tree, because it's vital. If you want any environmental impact and any return on investment, that those trees we're going to plant are still going to be there and have thrived in a forestry ecosystem 40, 60 years ago. Years from now, sorry. So it's the value of the timber that's going to get you money back.
And you're expecting me to make money on this tree, and you make money, and we have a sustainable program. So everybody makes money somehow here?
Yeah, the idea, we also thought that there's a reason why there are beautiful cities in the world, because there are financial means, financial leverage, to develop them. There's a reason why there is successful companies, because there are events like this one to leverage financial means to develop them. So similarly, if we want to have a nice nature, a thriving nature, we need to find financial leverage to actually fuel private funding in it. This is what we're trying to do.
How successfully do you sell? What is your revenue?
Sorry.
The revenue. What is the revenue?
Last year, 2021, we hit 6.7 revenue. million euros revenue. We are basically doubling our revenue every year since we started back in 2016. We're practically break even. We're looking for 12 million this year and up to 60 million over the next 3 years.
So I think where everyone was getting a little lost is trying to understand kind of the reason why someone or a corporation would partner with you to buy these trees. And it sounds like the principal driver for that is to do good, but there must be some type of carbon certificate or offset certificate that you're providing these corporations in exchange for their contributions.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, the primary motivation, I'll be honest, is of course the environmental motivation.
Right.
And there are other quicker ways to make money. But the idea is that still, is this financial motivation that will help engaging more individuals or companies. And it's true on top, because one thing trees are very good at is also sequestering, capturing carbon from the atmosphere. So we indeed have developed a methodology and a verification process to issue carbon removals. So for typically corporations that want to be carbon neutral or net zero, we have created basically the carbon removal that pays for itself. Because a company today can spend a fortune like big cost on its P&L to actually try to compensate its carbon footprint. While with the eco-tree carbon removals, you're actually turning that into an asset, a growing asset on your balance sheet, aka the carbon removals that pays for itself.
Yeah, it is clear that it exists companies who sell CO2 certificate and everything in exchange. So I have a different question. So you promised I invest money, but it's long-term investments. Is any forest growing like, I don't know, 15, 20 years? So it is my investment in 20 years. So from other side, if I decided to put 100 trees, for example, and I will see money possibly in 20 years. First question. And question coming after this, who is responsible to ensure that this tree will grow, will not become sick? So you need to speak to this first presenter to combine insurance company and this one and yours. So seriously, my question about, it is a little bit wrong motivation since it is a pretty long investment. I understand for goodwill, but I don't understand how you sell your benefit for customer.
Yeah, it's true, it is a long time perspective. We have to be honest about
Since
this.
you did not return any money, just through 16 years, no trees grew to levels that you can sell it.
Yeah, indeed, it takes a few years, at least 25 years before a tree has actually some commercial value. So we cannot invent value when it's not yet there. So indeed, you have to wait at least 25 years.
How you ensure my investment?
As I said, well, we have a big part of your initial purchase will go on an escrow account. And with this regard, we're actually monitored and controlled by financial authorities in the countries where we operate. And they're going to make sure that that money is properly put on escrow to secure that there are all the necessary financial resources to grow your tree into actually a forestry ecosystem where it will deliver its commercial value. So this being said, again, I'll be very honest, there are some risks. It's a natural asset. So it comes with natural hazards, risks. Most of them are actually insurable, and as soon as they are, we do insure them. For the rest, like typically diseases, well, we try to mitigate that risk by the type of forestry management that we implement, like mixing species and stuff like that. So it's unfortunately not a zero risk investment I'm offering you, but I would say it's definitely a meaningful one, a long-term one, but a fairly safe one. And when you look at the recent turmoil on different financial markets, this asset growing value is based on the actual growth of the tree. And let's say beside the natural risk, at least when it comes to the human factors, economical crisis, COVID, wars, that is likely not to affect that type of asset that much. So in a way, it's a fairly safe thing.
I will suggest to put a fruit tree. In this case, I will see my apples in 3 years or something. It will be much better, I think.
Where are you going to put the money you're raising now?
We have basically 3 main areas where we want to accelerate and scale. First is commercially. We're present in a couple of European markets, France, our historical domestic market, Northern Europe, and we want to expand throughout the whole European continent for now. And then we're looking at actually North America a bit further down the road. So first is expand commercially and so generate commercial traction as well as generate brand awareness of what we do. We have been recognized by the World Economic Forum and so forth. So yeah, this requires present activity and funding. Second is invest in technology. I mean, we're using a lot of technology in-house or through other startups or partners to basically typically enhance, improve the customer user experience when it comes to this digital universe we try to create around this investment in nature, but also to monitor the impact on biodiversity, on the growth of biomass, using drones, satellite imagery, and so forth. And the third part is in sourcing and our sourcing capabilities, right? In order to have a quick, cheap, less capital-intensive access to land, so we can, duplicate that model as quick and as far as possible.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from the jury?
Risto had a question from the start.
First of all, kudos for trying to do something that would really help humankind. That's very, very important. It sounds as if you are at risk of becoming a fund management company. If such a large portion of your gross revenues cumulatively are held in escrow and you are managing those funds, the value of that far exceeds the value of the timber that you are growing. But that's not a question. The question that I had in mind is, how do you guarantee that the timber that you get is used in a sustainable way?
This is something we're monitoring, of course, very precisely through the channels, distribution channels that we are using. And 70% of the timber or the wood we produce, or the extract product from our forest, goes into what's called high-quality timber, which actually has a second round of environmental impact, because every time you use timber or high-qualitative tree for construction, for decoration, for furniture, instead of plastic, cement, steel, which are much more climate-heavy commodities, well, you have a second round of environmental impact. So it is absolutely vital that this doesn't go into heating or what we call energy wood. But the type of wood, like oak trees and etc., we produce is typically used as high-quality timber.
So you plant oak trees?
Absolutely, yeah.
Any other?
I'm from Paris, and Notre Dame de Paris burned a couple of years ago, and it was actually the tree, the timber structure of the cathedral which burned, which were 800 years old oak. So now that carbon has been released, but it shows how actually a durable, sustainable material it is.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Our next two startups are online, and I hope we have them both on the line. I'm sure that now Tim will see them better than us. They're in one and the same room. I'm sure you're very excited about it. So the first one is Cake, and the founder, I'm guessing, with us. Cake Zero Emissions. Hello.
Hello, guys. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we do hear you well. Congratulations making it to the finals. Do you hear us?
Thank you so much. Sorry to be afar. I'm outside at the dinner, so unfortunately I wish I would have been with you guys at this moment, but let's try and make this as good as we can.
We lost your video, but go ahead please with 3 minutes presentation.
So basically, Cake is about developing electric motorcycles and mopeds in the transition towards zero emission. And I want to start this session by sharing our perspective of sustainability. The biggest challenge against sustainability is basically our pace of consumption. We buy too much crap that ends up being garbage before we know it. So we would never, pound our chest saying, "Hey, look at us, we're doing, motorized electric vehicles." It's about using the obvious drivetrain these days with the challenges associated to electricity in general, but to make sure that we do extend the life cycles of products. There are too many vehicles in our space that are basically of too low quality, ending up as garbage before we know it. So extending life cycles by, in our case, promoting 4 pillars, which is purpose, innovation, performance, and physical quality, is the key contribution to a commercial and environmental sustainable business and environment. That said, you may look at what we're doing as merely a tool to promote what needs to be done, which is a common obligation towards planet Earth, and being able to combine the aspect, again, of sustainable business as well as supporting the environment doing good. At this point, aside from what I just said, we needed to come up with a true solution. The proof is in the pudding, and basically looking at what the situation or space would be right now is that there are no vehicles in this space that are developed to, I'd say, promote and optimize the character of a two-wheeler which is being electrified. They're all versions of combustion engine ancestors where basically companies and competition at this point is replacing a combustion engine bike with an electric drivetrain. While in our case, we started from scratch, making sure that we made light vehicles to support the optimizing, I'd say, performance, meaning that we reduced the number of battery cells to enhance power efficiency and reach, rather than using a chassis which is inherited from the combustion engine era, and in that sense, needing to put on tons of battery cells. So after the launch back in 2018, we've established a global position, being considered as a leader, and we're now scaling towards becoming a vehicle industry. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we see your ear very well.
So, Stefan,
all right.
As I understand it, you're replacing drivetrains with electric drivetrains, and
no, we're making completely new vehicles, meaning that we need to develop chassis and electric drivetrains to optimize the performance of these vehicles, while competition and the immaturity of this business still is dealt with using traditional chassis and putting on electric drivetrains, just swapping drivetrains, which is not the way to do it if you want to support the aspects of power efficiency and reach, and to make sure that we accelerate the transition towards fossil-free transportation, specifically in urban situations.
Well, it seems you're very late to the game unless you've been in the business a very long time. What's your advantage?
Well, as what I started with, promoting extended life cycles. I'm not going to brag about what we do or what we don't do, but there's no one in this space that did start this journey by developing, I'd say, the construction and defining the category of electric two-wheelers in that sense. There are tons of bicycles out there with electric drivetrains, but when it comes to motorcycles and mopeds, I'd say that competition is still very scarce. So we've been in the game since 2016. And I think that since then, we probably received more than 120 innovation and design awards. So at least we've been able to make some mark or footprint in what we're trying to achieve.
What are your revenues? And how does that compare to your
at this point, our revenues are 10 million last year. They're going to be 25 to 30 million this year. And the ambition is to reach 50 million units sold by 2025 at a level of 50 million euros at that point.
And your biggest competitor, how big are they?
It's really hard to, we need to include, if you look at the total addressable market here, because we're speaking about two-wheel vehicles for transportation, and we need to include everything which is run on gasoline as well. So the big five being Honda and Kawasaki and so forth, that will all be electric within the next 10 years, need to be considered as competitors at this point. But when it comes to true motorcycling and moped performance bikes, there aren't too many. There are companies like Gogoro from Taiwan, there is Zero from California in the United States, with different takes on how this is being dealt with. But I'd say that competition is still very immature.
Tim, I'm sure that you also have the link to the full profile of the company with you. So you can see those details in terms of when they're founded and the financial data. What I'm really surprised, I would say in a nice way, to see that you have raised so far 68 million and you're heading for a next round. And obviously there is the hidden secret molecule that could make this a phenomenal company in the future. But because I'm the host, I will leave you guys for questions. So who is up for questions here?
Sure. So in terms of competition, just to understand a little bit the edge of what you guys doing.
Yeah, so again, we have a wide range of products starting from the beginning. The first line of or the first platform we launched is an off-road bike. And why the hell would you get into the off-road side of things, promoting business opportunities? Well, in this case, it gets back to the aspect of sustainability. We need to make sure to have a credible position and the in-house knowledge of producing something that has the durability needed to promote longer life cycles where we can capitalize on different new generations for 8, 10, and 12 years. And developing bikes that jumps 30 meters and would do double flips is crucial to us for the same reason as Mercedes-Benz or Mercedes or Renault would be doing Formula One cars. So in that sense, the majority of our business is focusing on short-haul urban transportation needs and specifically on the business-to-business side. And I would say that we're in the perfect storm right now. If I'd had this presentation in 6 months from now, back in time, I would have said that our short-haul urban transportation user and adjustment company would be a sustainability-oriented transportation company, last-mile transportation company. Today, I would say, unless that same company has a fossil-free solution for their urban transportation within the next 24 months, they will be out of business. Because what used to be visions and values have now become lawmaking and regulations. So with Paris leading, with Berlin following, with Barcelona, coming along, and Holland 6 weeks ago deciding that they're going to ban cars from the inner cities, in all their cities. We're not speaking about gasoline and diesel anymore. We're talking about four-wheelers, meaning that the opportunities of being to move around in cities and other situations would be public transportation, walking, or bicycles. And if you need to bring something, whether it's a pizza or if you'd be a plumber, you need to change the pipes for Mrs. Cruyff in the middle of Amsterdam, you need to be able to bring the pipes and your tools. And if you don't have that truck or van anymore, it's being parked outside, you need to really promote the aspect and reality of chain mobility. So, I mean, we're not going to be alone, but this space is booming now.
Did I understand correctly that your ambition is to achieve revenues of 50 million in 25?
Yes.
I think that's a very low aspiration level.
Yeah, but we need to be honest to our promise, which is again supporting the aspects of innovation, physical quality, premium, and purpose. That said, there are no shortcuts, but there's a hell of a lot of products out there. Because what we've done is that we've established a strong brand in North America and Europe where we've put our most focus. And if we start compromising with price levels, because there are no shortcuts, higher quality will always be more expensive. You can discuss the opportunities of manufacturing elsewhere and so forth. And of course, we're looking at optimizing our profitability and our margins by doing smart moves in that sense. But in the end, we need to be honest to our embedded promise and obligation towards planet Earth and environment, and being able to capitalize long time on our users, meaning that those products will be more expensive in terms of buying. But our, again, that comes with a second kind of offering that we need to and that is already in place, which is financing. So looking at our business-to-business customer, we can prove a much better TCO, because even though the buying price is more expensive, looking at it from an operational perspective and how it's being used, it's actually a much better economic solution, buying something that will withstand time with low maintenance and physical quality.
Other questions?
We're way beyond time, but if you have more questions, please, one more only.
I have a question about China and bill of materials which you use, how you will compete with them.
So right now, we're doing one of the most important impact projects that we have activated so far together with Vattenfall, which is one of the big power companies in Sweden. By 2025, we will offer to the market the most fossil-free vehicle in the world. I'd be lying if I would say that it's going to be fossil-free. That's just, a fake and a lie, because as long as we're human beings, we will always have negative consequences on CO2 emissions. But this project is something that is being run as an open source project, starting to be activated officially from August, where we actually turn every screw and bolt on this bike to make sure that we make the best decision in terms of producing the least CO2 intense or negative initiative to promote the most CO2 positive vehicle there is by 2025. So again, this is true, this is heart, this is spine, this is everything. And again, no cheating, no shortcuts. It's all about transparently, indicating what's going on here and how we can inspire the rest of the vehicle industry to move faster towards what needs to be done.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
A quick reminder to Tim and Sasha to fill in the if you haven't filled the score. Thank you so much.
Can imagine the backstage
I keep
here,
on receiving the numbers. We only
Sorry,
have...
I don't see how to do that. I checked all the apps here and there's nothing.
There is a score. There is this score button, which is on each and every profile. Tim, maybe someone can share the screen, and you have them also on your mail
is
again.
it on a separate link somewhere?
Yeah, in your email, every company is there. You can just fill in now the scoring.
I'll do it on my phone.
As per, yeah, please. I see that you're writing them down, but if you fill them in, I will receive them immediately, and we will know who is the winner.
Who did that email come from?
Yeah, you have it on your email.
Right. Who did it come from? From you?
Yeah, from Sophia.
Okay.
All right. And then we have, I mean, these are the challenges of the live production. You see, Stephen, I think, was biking somewhere. Let's see, where is our last contestant? Do we have a connection?
Do you realize we're really operating in a hybrid environment, on stage, in person, online, on Zoom? Amazing. We actually would like to greet all 9,000 people who are watching us now live, and I'm very excited to learn who will be the winner.
We'll have Alvar on the line. Alvar Woolworth.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, you're in the car. You really didn't believe you're going to make it to the finals, have you?
No, I had a board meeting today, so I was just coming back from that.
All right. Well, then, hope your connection is good. Obviously, you're not biking, you're in a car. All right.
And
please.
I'm not driving.
Please don't drive. Take the 3 minutes, and you'll hear a gong once they're gone. The floor is yours.
Yes. So thank you very much. Having pitched this morning, I'm delighted to have reached this level and to be here again. At Alvar, we've developed this range of high-protein vegan foods with our very unique golden chlorella microalgae. And what's unique about it is that it's neutral in color and in taste and can therefore be incorporated into all foods. This is really a game changer when it comes to the food industry. Microalgae have always been difficult to work with because of color and taste. And having broken that barrier means that we can really access a much, much larger industry, so the food industry. There are 3 main points to using microalgae. We all know that it's exceptional in terms of nutritional values. So in terms of magnesium, potassium, zinc, vitamin B, omegas, carotenoids, just fantastic. But it's also a super sustainable protein. And we have done a full life cycle analysis, and we have the most sustainable protein in the world. And to be able to have that claim, obviously we've had to do a lot of work, and our life cycle analysis is a continual process that we keep doing better. But we require, for example, 0.2% the amount of land than what you need for the production of beef. But a third part, which is even more exciting, is that it is a functional ingredient. So we can actually replace chemical binders with our methylcellulose, which is what the food industry has been waiting for, is to remove the chemicals, to have clean labels. And this is where we can now come in and offer it as a functional ingredient, which also has the benefits of the nutritional values and the protein.
Oh, that was less than 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Job well done.
That's all I needed.
Super timing.
That's what I like about female founders. They're always strict and pretty much very well organized. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
First question. How many employees you have?
So we are 10 at the moment. We are
No, it's a very short question. And the second question, how many of your employees now on your protein diet?
It's not a diet.
No, I mean diet, on your protein replacement, I will say.
And it's not a protein replacement either. It's something that you take every day for well-being, but also for people who want to reduce the amount of meat that they're eating every day, but to be sure that they're getting exactly what they need. Exactly.
But the question was, are you eating your own dog food?
Question, how many employees eat your food? Okay, so just...
We all eat them. We have a range of finished products, and we also have the chlorella in a powder form that can be added to your foods, and we also have it incorporated already in food supplements just to facilitate.
Okay.
Between each of those avenues to market, which is your primary strategy? Because those are all very different go-to-market strategies.
Yes, absolutely. So we have developed this range of high-protein vegan foods with the chlorella already integrated. The reason why we did that was because in the beginning we didn't focus on the massive scaling up of the production in one go, which many algae companies or many other companies do, is just focus on production to bring the cost down. What we did is we focused on making sure that we had consumer acceptance, first of all. So we wanted to test the markets. We wanted to get our products out onto the market. We wanted to see whether there was an interest in the products. And what we saw is that we very quickly started to ramp up with revenue, and our products were selling. So last year we did just over the $1 million mark in revenue. And what that has done is it's created like a window opportunity, because then food companies can also see what types of products our golden chlorella or our different chlorellas have been incorporated into already. And so they're now coming to us and saying, well, wait a minute, if you can do that with your foods, could we also incorporate it into our finished foods? And that is why we have then looked at the functionality as well of the chlorella. And this is why we're also now starting to work on the B2B side. But having now focused on the B2C, we have revenue.
So to clarify kind of my question maybe, which of those strategies is your primary strategy? Where are you going to focus your marketing dollars, your R&D dollars, your distribution dollars? You have a limited amount of funding, so are you focusing primarily on being a B2C brand and bringing a finished consumer product to market? Or is the strategy long-term to be a food additive and food supplement for major manufacturers?
So the B2C is important for us at this stage right now. We're talking about a product which is not on the market, that has not been on the market, which is something completely new. So it's important for us to be visible on the market. So yes, we are spending money on marketing. We are obviously spending money on R&D, because the biggest part of our business is the R&D. So we are the only ones in Europe to have cracked that possibility of getting microalgae into finished food. So we're leading that already. So we need to continuously put money into marketing. But it's very important to have a branded ingredient as well as we move forward. And we've seen this with many other companies as well. So my co-founder, who was the head of alternative proteins at Nestle and was also at DuPont, what they had failed to do in some of their strategies was to actually brand their ingredients so they could push it forward. And we've seen, like, for example, with Teflon, you buy Teflon pan, but it's not them who've made the pan. They've only done the coating. So we're doing the same. We have branded our ingredients so that we can push those forward as well. And in the long term, that will be our main business, the B2B.
Right. Thank you.
Any more questions?
How big have you gotten? What are your revenues and your distribution chains?
So we are a Swiss company, so we're on the Swiss market, the German, we've moved into the Baltics, Scandinavia, into the UK, into the Netherlands. We've opened a daughter company in the Netherlands as well, and we've expanded that way. Now we're now moving down France that way. We're also moving across to the Middle East. In terms of revenues, like I just mentioned, we passed the $1 million mark last year. We plan to do 1.4 million here this year this year in 2022. And we will continue developing with the different countries that we open.
And how does that break down? How much of that is direct online and how much is through chains, restaurants, and whatever?
Yes, good question. Obviously, during COVID, we had to change strategy a little bit because being a new brand on the shelf in retail was very, very difficult because people were obviously not wanting to buy the same way or taking the time to look at new brands because of the masks and wanting to get in and out as quickly as possible. So we actually changed our strategy slightly. So instead of going through retail and going through distributors that way, we decided we would concentrate on going D2C, so directly to the consumer. And this is where we opened up the D2C and really went online. And that has created us a lot of loyal customers who we can actually go to and also get a lot of good feedback from to see where we should developing and going forward with our new products. Yeah.
And what's your margin on the product?
Oh, we have good margins. We have over 50% margin. And this will only increase over time as we bring the costs down as we manage to increase more and more. So we went from 5 metric tons production of just the raw chlorella, of our microalgae, to 50 metric tons of it.
Other questions, gentlemen?
More questions from the jury?
On a kind of a pound per pound or a kilogram per kilogram basis, how do you compare to other kind of protein sources like soy and others, and of course beef and meat-based sources as well?
Yes, great. So we have, it's a fermentation process. So basically, we have, our R&D is on the strain. So we have separated the cells. So we've got, because chlorella is a single cell microalgae, what we've done is we've managed to separate. And so we've done a very natural mutation. And therefore, because we have worked so hard on the natural mutation of the cells and not on the extraction of trying to take out protein from the algae itself, nor from transforming it in any way. So because it's in its natural form, so we just ferment it, it grows, we then wash it, we dry it, and we package it. This is why it's the most sustainable protein, because there is no extraction done within it. And it comes out at 45% protein.
Wow.
Meat has 25, just to give you an idea. So more than meat, at 45% protein, naturally, it's the highest natural product to have it.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
So I give you some time right now, right?
That would be great, but you
ready?
know what I think? Let's add maximum value to everyone who is watching us and who will be watching us. And it's not that often when you have such an amazing investors panel. Why should we do it secretly? Why don't we discuss now very openly what we think about these founders and their products and their services and what they've built, and make it really very quickly. I already have your numbers. I know who is the winner. I know who you placed as the runner-ups. But I would love to hear it. We're just waiting for the scoring of the last one, if I still haven't received it. So I would love to hear your thoughts.
Plamen, I'd like to go first because this ran very late, and I'm way behind on my schedule. And my day's just started, so.
Tim, I do appreciate what you've done and being with us. Maybe just 1 minute to tell us who is your favorite, or which are the 2, 3, 4 favorites of yours, and where you see the most potential, if that's not too much to ask.
Okay, yeah, I'll go for positives and negatives. Vegicel Ghost, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. I'll just go in the order I saw them. The positives are, interesting market. They're clearly being able to switch from one insurance company to another easily, and to guide the world toward smart contracts that are simplified is a great way to go. They do have a lot of competition from WeFox and others, and they're not going after the end user yet. My recommendation is to go ahead, do B2B for a while, but once you get a hold, I mean, once the end user is talking to you, you turn that into a business where you go direct. All the biggest companies in the world have been created through selling to end users. Views 360 views, I at first I thought, my God, just like every other one of these things, but then I realized that it's going to be a really powerful library. It's going to be an interesting opportunity. And the fact that he's got a lead over the competition is probably strong. And the fact that he went after the phones rather than the VR headsets is also a good idea. He's going to have a lot of competition. They're going to come from a lot of different places, and it might end up being a situation where he sells out to Meta or somebody like that, because I'm not sure it becomes a standalone company. EcoTree, I thought was it was kind of the beginning of something interesting, but then I thought, well, maybe the trees, I mean, if I wanted the full value instead of just 30% of the value of my tree, why wouldn't I just plant them myself and get my carbon credits for planting them myself? And I guess that's more true of the larger corporations, but the smaller individuals, I guess, would like this kind of a benefit, and he does all the work for them, so that's good. And the revenues speak for themselves. He's built pretty good revenues there. Cake zero emissions, I was not thinking that it was anything that special, although he has been at it for a long time. There are quite a few electric two-wheelers out there, and I don't think purpose, innovation, performance, and sustainability are strong enough differentiators to win in the marketplace, because that is a big, powerful marketplace that a lot of people are in. Zero's been in it for probably 10 years before he even started. Albert, I think that was a very, I guess the extra special part of it is the microalgae, but that's going to be a really tough marketing job to convince the world that they should be eating more microalgae. And when you sell a consumer product that is a food-based product, brand is everything. And you really have to get a real brand recognition. And I think you really have to, this is going to go through fits and starts, this company, and I hope she has the wherewithal to stick with it through thick and thin, because I suspect she's got to figure out what the true business model is here and not get confused with a lot of different ones. But she's sort of fallen, maybe, luck has a lot to do with this, and she's fallen into direct to consumer, which is probably the best model for her anyway, because then she can educate her customer, they can get hooked on it, and they can keep buying it. There are a zillion companies in this field, so I think she's going to have a lot of competition. So that's why staying power is going to be important. So there you have it. My personal favorite was Vagisil Ghost, even though I can't pronounce it, but only if he goes after the end user eventually. So there you have it. Thanks so much. It was really a pleasure. And you guys at Webit, you're awesome. Plamen, you really do a great job.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate being a part of it.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Sorry, I'm so late. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Keep on inspiring us. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask a very quick review on everyone's side, of course. I already see all the results. It's clear. But let's start from Gilad.
You will be lost, Plamen.
Yeah?
Yes.
Should I relax
You
a little bit?
will relax and you will be lost to share your feedback. That I envy every one of the project. I also envy us because we have this feedback that is actually precious for every business, not only for those projects who are now, I imagine, have some incredible emotions inside their heads.
You know, I wish I had advisors who reflect on my business like these people here. You know, just to tell me that openly if my product's amazing or it doesn't work, and you know, team's feedback and everyone's. I'm sure that it's so much help. So yeah, Gilad.
Okay, so I think I will actually go for the positive ones from my perspective. There were two companies that I thought were actually shining other than the others, Alver and EcoTree, because I think they're doing actually good for environment, they're doing good for the world, and I'm looking actually forward. You're looking actually into the future and those things, what I'm actually looking when I'm actually investing in companies. So it's very short, but it's...
That's it?
Yes.
No word for anyone else? Or we take it like a decline. All right, I got it. I got it, thank you. Risto.
For all these types of competitions, the key question is, what are we really grading the companies for? Sort of, what's the metric? And if I will just take the metric of the way that I make my typical investments, I expect the company to generate at least 50x return on the investment. And if I look at these companies here, I think there's potentially one that could provide 50x returns. But with this information, I wouldn't invest in any of them. There's just too little information, so I would want to talk more with the people and ask a lot of more questions. But based on what we have heard, Cake Zero, no ambition. They have raised 68 million and they plan to do revenues of 50 million in 25. That doesn't correlate. EcoTree, hard to see that it becomes a really huge business. I think they're doing a good job in a good domain, good work. I hope they will do well, but they won't produce 50x returns. 360 was potentially, yes. They are a media company and they think they're an app company, a tech company. I don't know if they're fooling themselves or fooling us, but they do their business based on subscriptions, based on the content and ad revenues. That's a media company. As long as they deny what they are, I wouldn't invest in them, but they have potential. And then Vekselgot, I think they will do well in the DACH region, but before they have realistic plans of expanding globally or at least European-wide, I wouldn't invest them because I don't think I would get 50x returns. So I would pick Alver as my winner. I think the management team needs a lot of help, but of course when I would make an investment, I would be looking forward to helping. So I don't think they are where they need to be yet, but also taking into account their current valuation, they are the one that could realistically bring 50x returns if they get the right help and support.
If we lower your personal, because obviously that's why I said that you are the only LP of yourself and you're very specific with your selections, if you lower your expectations beyond the 50x and go for 10 to 20 in the next 2-3 years, if I heard you right, Alver, you think can make it. You see exponential growth there with a lot of help.
It's possible.
It's possible to make it. And the others need to identify who they are and what they do. 360 views particularly.
And Vekselgot, they also could produce reasonable multiples.
Thank you. We need that voice of wisdom in the especially now when everything goes down. We need exactly this. Yeah, we have to be careful, and I'm sure Sasha will not be far away from what you're saying.
No, I will turn this in different direction.
Okay.
So,
surprise me.
So I will say that Cake
Yeah, so I was very, okay, I didn't pick up any winner from myself. Yeah, so slightly different companies and different targets and different actually ideas. So, and I didn't have ability to evaluate teams since we didn't see team. Yeah, so nobody presented who they are and who behind of them. And I always, finally, in my decision, I invest in the team. So since I need to stay with them.
Of course. They came all the way here, by the way, because they were evaluated that way. So
yeah, so speaking about cake, moving to the humor, I will say you will believe that Volvo, ugly car, became most safe car in the world, and people started to buy Volvo for this reason. I have big future for the cake, since it will be Swedish type of bike which will be reliable, secure, and everything. So I wish success. So speaking about trees, my belief, it is a little bit wrong to sell investment in the tree, which I will possibly will not see in my life. Yes, so it is better to continue to sell idea about climate, about everything. And as I told, as a humor, but it is not real humor, better to get money and to invest in the fruit tree in different regions, in some places apple, it is beautiful in springtime, it is nice to see results in the autumn, and people will enjoy their trees with their names on them and like this. So speaking about insurance, it is okay. It is a little bit German type of business, very carefully moving.
What do you mean little?
Digitizing, making small steps, invisible since actually banks sell it. But I will suggest for young men to move more in direction smart contract, but more important to move to different direction. It is to find way to change insurance. If I'm not drive car for months traveling, why I need to insure my car for driving on the road? So from this perspective, it is more innovation need to come to insurance industry and more disruption. And I didn't see this in his eyes. Possibly he stay always to the audience, possibly you guys saw this, his eyes, but I didn't see this future in his eyes for industry. So protein is very important, yes, so, but too big competition from my point of view, and too early to say where this company will get and will be too successful. Whom I miss? I miss one more, yeah?
360 Views.
Oh, 360, yeah. It is Dubai. I immediately see myself in Dubai, where there are a lot of lighting, a lot of advertisement, a lot of stuff. But most difficult challenge for this company, it is the quality and turnover of these reporters. How they happy will be and how they will make money. They pay too less for them to be good, I will say. How to create this momentum, I don't know. It is more dreams than reality from my point of view. I would like to be wrong, but it is like this. Okay, so I'm done.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Sasha.
you so much.
Ajay.
Don't you find it entertaining that like everyone has his own approach and reflection?
Well, that's the
and
beauty with it.
perspective? That's
Every
amazing.
investor has his own game,
Incredible.
right?
And you see the backstage of this.
I see the collective intelligence of
processes.
everyone. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Ajay.
Well, part of what we look for when we're investing is not only the strength of the team, but also the uniqueness and defensibility of the idea. And of all the companies that I saw today, the one that I think is most exciting is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is Alper, which is the micro fungi or microalgae technology, rather, that can be a protein replacement. I think it's one of the biggest problems facing humanity today. It has the greatest opportunity to generate impact. I think the challenge, as Tim pointed out, will be shifting consumer behavior and perspective around microalgae being an interesting replacement for beef and chicken and other meats. But I think if they can figure that out with some clever branding, both ingredient branding and consumer package branding, they might have a real shot at becoming a major company, returning 50, even 100x an investment at the stage they're at. So that's my personal favorite out of all of them. I think the other companies all had very interesting stories, I really liked 360 View. Is that what it was called? I think they're probably, they are confused about their business model. I agree with that. They are a media company and a content company, and I think they need to lean into that. But I think that content library can be an incredible defensive moat. And because there's so many bets being placed on the metaverse right now, the companies that build up those content libraries can ultimately be very valuable, especially if that content and that long tail of content has lasting value, that people are going back to watch content, you know, that might have even been produced years ago. So I think they have a real shot at being a very high-value company, but they just need to figure out, you know, what their business is and why they're in that business. But yeah, a lot of interesting companies and a lot of fun to participate in the process.
Thank you so much, Ajay.
Well, thank you so much, Ajay. Thank you so much to everyone. Now, time for the truth. You know, it's not unusual to have investors saying one thing, but then putting other votes for the company. And I see some differences here, but at the end of the day, the truth is that all of the companies made it very close to each other with 2 definite winners and 3 more runner-ups. So it's not going to be an easy choice for us at the end of the day to make the final announcement of the winners and the runner-ups. The truth is that the 2 companies, Eco3 and Auga World, are the top of everyone, with only 0.4% difference from one each other. So, the truth is that the other 3 companies are doing also not bad, with less than 1 point from each other. Let's get the companies on the stage.
Amazing.
All right.
Also the Zoom.
Ladies and gentlemen, those online and offline, all right? It's now the finals. And you've heard the feedback from the investors. So as everyone at your stage, you definitely have a lot to work. But Team Draper started with something which is called trust and freedom. And here we are. You are the 5 out of thousands of companies. We've checked your, obviously I do agree with Risto, you didn't have time here to talk about your teams, but we know your teams. And we know your P&Ls, because you have your data rooms. And when I see a company that is doubling revenue every other year, making from 3.5 to 7 million and hopefully above, and others that are making 6 million clients and going up, and others that are working hard to create a potential of a new food out there on the market, I'm excited. But it's not about me. It's about the 752 investors of WIN, and of course, my personal money at the end of the day. Let's prove Risto wrong. What do you think? You're not sure. Please bring me the checks here on the stage. All of them. Don't show, don't show, don't show. Just keep it like this. So there might be empty checks, there might be full checks. You might only guess until we turn them. But definitely there are 5 names here written on these checks. And these 5 names, we'll see the numbers. What I'm going to say now is very clear, and it's an address, direct address to our investors. Our minimum investment ticket is 500,000, and the rest is decided by the board of directors based on everything we've heard and everything we've learned during the past 6 months of due diligence, pitches, virtual pitches, and then now the live pitch here on that stage. Let me say something. I'm very conservative when it comes to big predictions, and I like very much Risto's thinking, and definitely everyone else thinking of the multiple of 50. But I think that there are also opportunities that we have to go after, which are supporting, particularly also sustainability, which are supporting things that we do care about. And I believe that what we have here on the stage are founders who are here on a mission. And they've been doing this for the past several years. All of them have products. All of them have markets. It's not easy to make revenues of millions on the markets. And if you achieve this for a couple of years, obviously you have done something right. Now, our choice will be very simple. I will turn out the checks one by one, and we will start with the first one. Check number 1.
Woo!
Congratulations, Cake. That's a good start.
Thank you.
Cake, you have raised 68 million at 200 million current valuation. And as Sasha said, let's do the Volvo and make it better, all right? I believe it could be the Tesla. So let's see how this is going to work. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it until now. And this is just the starting point. The board of directors of WIN will identify if we're going to put more on the top of the 500,000. So you will know after our final due diligence, which will take a few more weeks. But the 500 are there for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Check number 2. Albert, 500,000.
Great, thank you.
You have been through a corporate career, being one of the most important people at Nestle, and doing what you're doing now. You must know the game. And we all like the way you do it, but I do agree, we have to work with you to build you a great sales business development team, working on some branding, but definitely you've got something, and I believe there is a molecule of success with you, which we definitely, through our global network, will try to support. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. The money will be well spent.
Say it again, please.
With 50 plus return.
I didn't hear you, but I'm sure you say good things. Thank you.
Okay.
Check number 3. Please say the name of the company the right way. Try with this one. What is it?
It's called WithSecure.
WithSecure. Well, I do agree with Tim that there is something in this company, and if you do it right, and if you use the blockchain in the right way, there could be an interesting approach. But I do agree also with the panel that DACH is your place. Hopefully you will overcome. And I'm not looking at 50K. Let's start with smaller numbers. Let's go for 10K. And then we grow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And this is yours.
Thank you.
Keep it, and again, in a couple of weeks' time, you will know if the number goes higher.
Yeah.
Check number 4. It's not 0. It's not 0. Congratulations. All right. EcoTree, you are on the top of 2 of our panelists, and I see your numbers, and basically they shine. So, congratulations, and you know, what I'm hopeful of is to see everywhere around Europe your trees. And Sasha's right. Why don't you do some apples for a change?
Think about that, sure.
All right. Well, Sasha, if they do apples.
No, I prefer as a banana tree.
Congratulations. And now the question is, if you have a 0 or another 500 and the last one, what do you think? Which? we can give up to $1.5 million. So how much? You think it's $1 million? Who knows? Number 5. Congratulations. All right. Now, I personally know that you guys are going to excel. And I see it with your customers. I see it with your numbers. What I don't see, though, is identification of yourselves. Where you go. If you ask Google, they're a technology company, but they've done all their money from advertising. So you'd better identify who you are and go and get it. So congratulations. Congratulations to all of you guys. I mean, for God's sake, you've made it through 5 rounds to this stage. It's been so many interviews, that many panels, that many investors, and you're finally here in person. Some of you, others riding and driving. But at the end of the day, that's a great opportunity for all of us to make impact. So congratulations. I've heard the jury. The jury was giving you plus minus 10% for all of you. And what they say, by the way, makes perfect sense. Let's prove Risto wrong, because he's the only one who said he will not invest in any of you. Now, let's prove him wrong, and we'll go there in Finland and show him the results in a couple of years.
Them more first,
all right.
Doing the DD.
Thank you very much, Risto. Thank you all. Really appreciate. Let's get some music and champagne. Who is going to open the champagne? There are no particular winners. Take the champagne and open it. It's you. Oh, but that sounds like a plan. Don't kill anyone in the room.
A round of applause to everyone and to the wonderful jury.
And special thanks to you, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us.
It was an amazing experience. I was on that stage of all the amazing process, and thank you to everyone. Hurrah! Woo!
Whoa! Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Risto. Sasha. Thanks, man. Thank you, man. All right, no, you drink it, you drink it. Now, this is the last time I want to see you drinking. Now we have to prove the worth of our money. And some virtual champagnes for you guys. Congratulations.
Cheers, congratulations, and good luck with everything.
Now, with this saying, I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank all of you being with us. To thank to all the startups who made this a 12th year of success for Founders Games. Special thanks to our partners that you see there, MasterCard, and now our catering partners are inviting us outside with some great wine, selection of Enira, and wonderful food. Thank you all, and I see you next at the second season of Founders Games 2022. Somewhere in the world, Miami and Davos. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Special thanks to my wonderful team, which I won't do anything without. Thank you all, guys. I love you. Thank you. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, bye.
Take the bottle.
What should I do? All right, cheers. There's no glass. It's not that I'm drinking like this, all right? All right. Let's go and have some drinks. Yeah? Congratulations.